Hello everyone, and welcome to my new little series called Weight Loss Real Talk, where all I do is cut the silence and skip the BS. Today's topic, understanding the fact that you do not, I repeat, do not need to do intermittent fasting in order to lose weight. And that applies to literally everything. Now, what do I mean by this? You may have noticed that in almost all of my videos, I'm always encouraging people to do intermittent fasting for weight loss in order to lose some weight, which, yes, it does work, but is not necessary to specifically do intermittent fasting in order to accomplish your weight loss goal. Now, here's the reason why I'm such a big fan of it and why I always encourage other people who are interested in losing some weight to do the same thing. The first reason, well, first let me make a little side point here before I get into that. I'm sure a lot of us by now understand that a caloric deficit is a must in order for anyone to lose weight, regardless of you being a dude or a chick. Doesn't matter. It's all the same. You still need to be in a deficit. So now that we understand that, going back to what I wanted to explain earlier as to why I always encourage people to do intermittent fasting is because people are very lazy when it comes to tracking their calories. And look, I get it. You can hate me for being someone who always talks about tracking calories or counting calories, however you want to call it. I really don't care at the end of the day. I know there may have been many times where I said that you need to count calories, but there have also been many times where I said the opposite of not needing to count calories. And that's because it depends on the kind of person you are, which leads me to my point about the encouragement of intermittent fasting is that when you do it and do it properly, it helps put people in that necessary deficit that people are too lazy to do using the calorie route. I mean, really, all you have to do is think about it. You know, why is it that, like, let's just use me as an example. I'm currently doing 19.5. That's a 19-hour fast with a 5-hour eating window. So with that in mind, why is it that I tend to lose weight eating 5 hours a day? The simple answer to that is because I don't have enough time to overeat. That's why it works all the time. So imagine I made a YouTube video, right, showing what I eat, and kind of imagine it as me eating a whole bunch of stuff you wouldn't imagine me eating. Like, for example, a bunch of chocolates or a bunch of fast food or, you know, whatever the case may be, any sort of food that you can think of that isn't healthy and most likely are foods that make you gain weight. Because of that 5-hour eating window, now you know why I don't gain weight regardless of me eating those specific foods. It's because I didn't have enough time to eat more above the amount of food that I already ate to put me in a surplus, because my eating window is so short. That is the reason why intermittent fasting for weight loss works, but again, is not necessary. So here's sort of the difference that a lot of people need to understand. Just like I said earlier, it depends on the person. For example, if you're someone who's interested in losing weight and you came to me asking me how to do just that, my honest, straightforward answer would be count your calories and just wait. Like if you can learn how to count your calories and understand a deficit and have patience, you could literally just count your calories and sit on a couch all day and you'll lose weight. It's that easy and that simple. Yes, it sounds too good to be true, but my friend, believe me, it is true. I do it all the time. So if you were the kind of person to follow the advice I gave right then and there, then really all you need to do is just count your calories and be patient. But for those people that are not a fan of counting calories for whatever reason, and because you're lazy, I'm joking, the alternative would be what I always encourage almost in every single video, like I said, would be intermittent fasting. If you do that correctly, meaning you follow your fast consistently, you're aware of the foods that you're eating, and you are patient, you really don't need to count any of your calories at all. That is if and only if you do everything correctly, which for the record, most people don't. Again, just to emphasize what I'm saying, if you want to lose weight, you can do it with intermittent fasting or without it. Remember, at the end of the day, it is just a deficit, that is needed. Don't forget that. Now, I remember I had a friend who was interested in doing intermittent fasting for weight loss, and what I recommended to him was to do 16-8, just because it's, it's the most basic fasting schedule you could follow. It's great for beginners, but at the time he wanted to copy what I was doing, which was 19-5, which in my opinion I think is a little much for him, but he did it anyway. And the interesting thing is he actually gained a lot of weight following my specific schedule, and I'm not surprised. I know exactly why. First reason is because he didn't really understand what a deficit was. He didn't really understand how to count his calories. That specific schedule he was following was clearly way too hard for him. He thought that since he was intermittent fasting, that he had the right to eat whatever the heck he wanted. Now, can you imagine thinking that you can eat whatever you want while not having an understanding of how to be in a deficit? Not a good time at all. Thankfully, after many sit-down talks and explanations, he understands how this all works now, so good for him. And I genuinely want the same thing for all of you guys. I know there's a lot of times where it sounds like I'm being so harsh about it, or kind of like sounding like a jerk, as if I know it all, and I'll be honest, I don't know it all, but I know enough to help you. And that's sort of been my goal since the very beginning. I want to literally skip the BS advice that's being given everywhere. People telling you the opposite of what I just told you. For example, counting calories. A lot of people are against it. But again, like I said, you don't have to, but it always depends on the kind of person that you are. So if someone were to ask you, do you need to count calories? The answer is usually a yes and a no, because it depends. So anyway, I think I've said everything that I needed to say for this topic, at least. Hopefully you guys learned something. I hope. And if you did, let me know in the comments down below. So with that said, I will see you guys in the next one.